I was diagnosed with cancer while I was running for office. So, yeah, you could say I have a few thoughts on the revelation about the Biden cancer diagnosis. So, 3 things. 1, how to handle this ethically. 2, why I think this is absolute bull. 3, what this could mean for the midterms and maybe even the presidential election. So, in 2016, I was preparing to run for office. And then I was diagnosed with cancer. So when I made the decision to go ahead and run, I also publicly disclosed that I had stage 3 colon cancer and what that meant. And I did that because voters need to know that type of information to evaluate if you are going to earn their vote. But Kara, maybe he didn't know that he had prostate cancer when he ran for office. Okay, that also does not matter. I did get elected to office. I did beat cancer. And then it came back. And so I disclosed to the public that my cancer had come back and that it was stage 4. Voters need to know, can I still do the job? What does treatment look like? How many days am I not going to be able to do my office? Will it impair my body, my cognitive function, all of that? And then they need to decide and give me feedback on, do I stay in office or is it time to step down? And that's what Biden should have done. So let's get to the second point. Why do I think it's complete that he didn't know until just now? Presidents receive the type of medical care you and I can only dream about. They get every type of body scan, every type of test. I mean, it is specialists, top specialists in the world running these tests. There is little to no probability at all that he didn't know that he had prostate cancer. And while prostate cancer can, in extremely rare times, advance rapidly, to get to bone where it's into your bones, that usually takes 10 plus years. I and many other people are calling BS on this one, that he didn't know. So what does all this mean for the midterms and possibly even for the next presidential election? To talk about this, we kind of got to take a step back to the previous presidential election and what happened in the lead up to that. So in the lead up to that, the number one issue for everyone, but really big for independents, was the economy. And when we talk about the economy, we're not talking about like the economy of the whole country. We're talking about people's personal economy. How much can they buy? What is their rent or mortgage? Groceries, gas, like all those day-to-day expenses. That's what people are talking about when they're saying economy is the number one issue. How are they personally doing economically? And inflation was rising at that time, and it was rising rapidly. And you had prominent Democrats, you had the DNC itself, all of them saying, inflation? What inflation? Biden was saying, what inflation? Oh, ha, ha, ha. You know that Thanksgiving turkey's cheaper this year than it was last year. So they were completely gaslighting people. And when you tell people that the reality they personally are experiencing just isn't happening and isn't their concern, okay, that will turn voters against you. And that's what started to happen. And that's what was really swinging independents towards Trump. Trump was at least acknowledging that inflation was taking place and that it was hurting people. Okay, second thing that happened was the obvious cognitive impairment that we could see happening with Biden. He also looked frail. He was unsteady on his feet. He wasn't answering questions, I mean, in any kind of coherent way. I mean, even more than usual, like Biden craziness. And people could see that over and over and over. And yet, all of his aides and other Democrat electeds and the media were telling us, oh, no, sharp as a tack. He just is so sharp, right on it, knows all the issues. And we could see it. We could see that that was gaslighting us. And they kept it up right until that debate, right? The debate between Biden and Trump, when it was just apparent to everyone what was happening, and they couldn't hide it anymore. And so those two issues really brought down the credibility of the entire Democratic Party. And you can see it in the polling numbers. It's not even about the policies. It's not about, like, they talk about this woke business. None of that. Like, this is a credibility issue. Now, Trump is giving a huge opportunity to Democrats right now. The tariffs are immensely unpopular. The Spanish Inquisition is more popular than tariffs with the American public right now. And it's hurting people's personal economy. People are starting to see the cost of tariffs in their own pocketbook, and they don't like it. So this is like the golden opportunity being handed to the Democrats. And so now what is happening? This same credibility issue with Biden's health. And so people have questions. When was it really known? When was he diagnosed? Was his cognitive impairment age, or was he undergoing treatment and that was affecting him? Was it the cancer itself, the advanced stage of the cancer with the calcium releasing as it's metastasizing to his bones? Did that affect his cognitive impairment? When he said in 2022, "Hey folks, I have cancer," and they were like, "Oh, ha, 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 he just misspoke." Was that when he was diagnosed? So people have questions, and this credibility question is again thrown up in everyone's face. I know it's a long way until the midterms, and it's forever until the presidential election. But if Democrats do not start saying this is unacceptable, you have to disclose these kind of things. And if they knew about it, they need to say it. And if they didn't know about it, they need to say, I didn't know this, and this is unacceptable. Because otherwise, what we're looking at is maybe a less crappy midterms for the Republicans. They might actually keep, the Senate, but it also might mean we're looking at President Vance. Now, I'm an independent, so I don't play these reindeer games. I just call it out, either party, on how I see it. And I'm the type of person whose vote you have to earn. And right now, y'all suck.